You see the man, the myth, the legend, Rich Clark. He's the executive director of the College Football Playoff Committee, and I am excited to have you here. Day 3, ACC Kickoff. We back like we never left.
Yeah, it's good to see you again, Theo, and it's good to be back here because we're getting ready to kick it off, and I'm excited.
Come on. How can you not be? How can you not be?
It's going to be good.
Now, for people that don't know you, I want to just give them a quick, brief overview. Now, this is your current position, but, of course, you're retired U.S. Air Force Lieutenant General. You also were a great Air Force football player who had a team. We talked about this last time. The way y'all finished, what year was that? Is it
1985?
You make it sound so long ago.
It was. That's 40 years ago, man.
Y'all, one-loss team. You were one of the best teams in the nation. If we had a 12-team playoff back then,
we'd have been in it.
Come on.
Yes, home, and we would have hosted a first-round game at Air Force. It would have been historic.
That would have been amazing.
Crazy.
But you know what? The opportunity is now there for teams like Air Force or others to be able to make their way into it. I just want to know, last year was your first year as the executive director. How did it go?
It was spectacular.
Yeah.
I loved it. I got to admit to you, Theo, it was harder than I thought it would be. It really was. Yeah, it was. But I loved it more than I thought I would. It was just so cool to be a part of it. And the first 12-team playoff went so well. I mean, I'm grateful to my team, obviously, at CFP. Our staff is just incredible, and they made it happen. But I love the format. I love the way that it came off. Those first-round games on the campuses were just electric. The bowl partners at, the quarterfinals and the semifinals just did an amazing job bringing the traditions of college football through our bowl games there. And then our champ game, oh, man, I'll never forget it,
I love it. And you know what? Speaking of the champ game, speaking of your bowl partners, this is the Capital One Orange Bowl Media Tour.
We go.
Presented by Duffy Sports Grill. And I think you might have a couple of games in South Florida this coming year.
You think so? Yes, we will.
A little birdie says something.
Oh, man, we're excited.
Yeah.
We're excited.
Quarterfinal is going to be at the Orange Bowl. And, of course, the CFB 26 National Championship going to also be at Hard Rock Stadium.
Yes.
Miami felt a little bit robbed of the experience in 2021 because, of course, they were able to host it, but COVID.
Yeah.
How excited are y'all to bring it back to South Florida?
Well, first I'll say that Miami did a great job salvaging what seemed to be an impossible situation, and they pulled off a game even amidst COVID, right? And they did it. But we're gonna make it up. Right?
Yeah.
Because next year, Miami knows how to do big events. We know that. They host they're one of our New Year's Six partners, obviously, the Orange Bowl. Every year it's either a quarterfinal or semifinal, and it's always spectacular. But this is going up another notch or two or three because Hard Rock and Miami are going to give us something that we haven't seen. Miami's a destination city.
Come on.
People want to go there anyway, but now they got this game that is just going to be amazing, and Miami knows how to do big events, so it's going to be amazing.
It's going to be great. It's always great in South Florida, especially when it's January and it's cold as brick everywhere else.
Right,
so it's
right. Yes, I'm excited about that.
Rich Clark joining us here. He is the executive director of the CFB Playoff, and he is serving in that role for the second year. We're at ACC Kickoff. What do you like most about these events? You bounce around from different media days. You get to see these athletes and coaches sing the praises of their organizations as they hope to end their season playing in what you represent.
Right. I love the enthusiasm. People are already excited. Well, people have been excited for some time now, but they're ready. When you hear the coaches talk about their teams, and then you see the athletes and just their pride in what they did last year, but also ready to go on to another season and elevate that performance from last year, it just makes you proud to be a part of such a great enterprise where people just want to be great. They want to achieve at the highest levels, and I love being in this whole college football space. I never thought I'd be here. I was military, and I'm doing this. Better lucky than good.
To be fair, you've served much more important roles to our nation and to organizations, but
I don't know. I've had people trying to kill me in the military. I think someone want to kill me right now.
Them Clemson fans are wild. Clemson's here today, so just watch. I got you.
Keep my back.
Yeah. Rich Clark here joining us, CFB Playoff Executive Director, Air Force alum, and someone who served our nation. Thank you for your service. I'm curious, from your perspective, we know the first change that has happened for the 12-team playoff, where they're changing the way the seeding affects who gets the bye weeks and everything like that. It's a lot of talk, a lot of rumors about potential expansion and all of that. How do you see that going over the next year or two, and do you have any opinions on what you would like to see out of the CFB playoff?
Well, there's a lot of things on the table right now, and I think people really did like what they saw last year, and in some ways they want more, right? And in some ways they just want it to be better, and we all want it to be better. So the options as far as the number of games that we may have, it's 12, 14, or 16. Those are, that's what people are talking about. There's pros and cons either way, right? 12 works great.
It does.
And there's no question that could be good. But 16 gives us more access. You get more teams in, and you never know. When you get that team that strikes lightning in a bottle and they get that, that 16th seed, you never know, right? Yeah. We love an underdog. We love somebody that can come in from the outside and make it big. 14 might be the happy medium, right? So it's hard to know. The commissioners are going through that right now, though, and we're having some pretty intense discussions about it. But they're working through it and working together on it. Now, the other part, though, I got to bring up, there's the automatic qualifier format or the ranked seeding format, and both of those have pros and cons. There's a certainty when you have the automatic qualifiers. How many teams from a given conference are going to get in. You get there through a certain number of head-to-head games. But the straight ranking versus, ranking to seeding, that gives you, I think, a little bit less certainty.
Yeah.
But it goes through the season and it rewards performance throughout the season. Rather than predetermining it before the season, you're rewarding people during the season. And in the end, you get the best teams in. Both have merits, right? So we'll get to a good decision, though.
I like the way you're thinking. This is theoretically speaking right here. Myself and CCAT, we came together, and we actually had a bit of an idea, and we hadn't heard many people talk about it.
Uh-oh.
Can I just throw it at you, and you tell me if you've heard this before?
All right, let's hear it.
Okay, so we know how the weekly show drops the CFB playoff rankings, and that is obviously how you select what teams make it in. Has there ever been consideration, as these conferences like the SEC and the Big Ten are asking for more automatic qualifiers, but we can't always say that the Big Ten and SEC will be the first or second best conferences. Has there ever been consideration of conferences individually being ranked as well each year? So it gives a place like the ACC, let's just say hypothetically, Clemson, Florida State, and Miami are all swinging big in one year. They all got great quarterbacks and good programs. Why shouldn't the ACC potentially get a certain amount more bids than another conference? Ranking the conferences, is anybody throwing it out there, Rich?
I will say yes. It was discussed.
Okay.
And there's some drawbacks to that too. And one of the big ones is, how do you rank the conferences, right? Do you rank them based on previous year's performance? Do you rank them based on accumulation of, what they've done, and then what is it that you
how do you bake
accumulate?
it in?
Yeah, how do you bake all that in? And so when we talked about that, we got so wrapped around the axle on how do you actually rank the conferences that I think people kind of moved away from that, But it is not a bad thought, right? It really isn't.
Instead of the SEC always say, we want five every year.
Right.
Maybe you're not a five-big conference this year. We got to be forced to give an Ole Miss team that had 8 wins in because you got 5. All I'm saying, if you're going to do the AQs based on conference, maybe it should be a running list. And if you're the SEC and the Big Ten, and you think you're so big and bad, you should expect to always be ranked 1 and 2, so it shouldn't be a problem.
Well,
I'm just throwing it out there.
It's an idea. And it
Rich on one of
not outlandish. I'll just say that. It is not an outlandish idea.
Look, you got my contact, Rich. If you need me to fight for it at the meetings, just let me know. I will do it. I got a proposal.
Come here, I need you.
Yeah,
right,
I got a slideshow.
Okay.
Last thing before I let you go here, for you, looking at your former program, Air Force, and just the trajectory of how the new playoff formats, as we continue to expand, it does give a platform for programs like that. Mm-hmm. Maybe back here in South Florida, like FAU, maybe not to win a national championship, but to hang a banner and maybe say, hey, we were in the round of 16. We were in the round of 12. Like, how much pride do, the mid-level schools, the mid-majors of college football, if you will, how much pride do you think that this will open up the door for them to be able to celebrate seasons in a great way like that?
Enormous pride.
Yeah.
I mean, just to be in the conversation is enormous pride. But then to get into the playoff at any round, I mean, that would be historic for a school.
Yeah.
Especially, and I put myself back into 1985. If we had played, even if we played one round, that would have been historic, you know. And you got hope. You have a chance to go all the way. That's what people want. America loves an underdog.
Come on.
They want people to, to rise as high as they can rise and as high as their abilities will let them go. That's what the playoff is all about. Once you get your foot in the door, now it's up to you. And we love that. That's what I love about the playoff.
Rich Clark, thanks so much for your time. I know you got much more important things to do than be sitting here talking to me on Theoretically Speaking.
This is good.
So
theoretically, I love it.
I love it.
I did it. I made that connection.
Smart guy.
It's good.
Smart guy.
Not smart as you, though. You're the man. Thank you, Theo.
Thanks for your time. It's the Capital One Orange Bowl Media Tour.